Good morning, everyone. My name's Phil, and today I'd like to pose to you all a question. Can artificial intelligence improve the way that we all communicate every day? Now, I'd like to introduce to you a project which I hope in a very small way can go at least some way to answering that question. RésuméBot. Now, what exactly is it? It's your resume, but instead of being in the form of a stuffy LinkedIn page, why not have it as a conversational, customizable, quirky bot that you can have for yourself? Why create it? Because to answer that question I asked of you all earlier, why shouldn't a programmable bot make my life easier by answering questions other people may ask of me? Take the example of the screen. It's a current app called Poncho. It does exactly what it suggests. It gives you the weather with a bit of attitude. Now, how exactly was this bot created? In my case, I've used Facebook Messenger and their Send API, but the other tool behind my concept was this natural language AI processor called Wit AI. And I'll expand on what it does later on. And what better way to show this than a live demo? Welcome to PhilBot. Now look, as you can see, this is quite conversational. It's not meant to be an information dump that someone just comes here and reads. Now there's some pre-assigned path because this is like a story, it's a conversation. Let's say that, for example, we want to find out a bit more information about Phil or myself. Now, Facebook Messenger gives you these quirky quick reply options that lead to certain things. So if I'm in a rush, if I'm a recruiter or something per se, it will answer the questions that I have. Now, you can go through work experience, portfolio, education, etc. Now, as we all know, though, users won't go through the site the way that you want. So what if we actually ask a question? Like, for example, what's your experience? It understands the fact that you're asking specifically about experience. And just to prove that it's not actually hard-coded there, let's say, give me your experience, mate. And it goes down the same path. Now, let's understand that also, like a website as well, Messenger gives us the notion of this persistent menu, where if you go, you can get information, get help, contact. So if I wanted to get contacted, for example, I need to turn off my airplane mode. But yeah, you can go down the path of calling, and that uses Messenger's own call API, which is free, which allows you to call people. Now, let's explore a little bit of how exactly this is working. Now, take a simple sentence. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Now, natural language processing, or NLP, helps you break down a sentence into things called entities. So in this example here, the NLP can read a sentence and figure out that there's an entity called Sally, another one called sold, seashells, and seashore. But this is where bots start to get quite intelligent. Natural language understanding, as opposed to processing, helps us ascertain that Sally did something with something. And these are called context and intent. So I want to just quickly show you an example of Wit's response mechanism, which one setup made my head spin. Now, if I send this question that you see in the top left, what's the weather in New York to it? It takes a story I've programmed on Wit's GUI, returns a location, an intent, and a confidence score, which I found was fascinating to the tune of 99%. Now, in the second example, I've tweaked it and asked it in a more slang-like fashion. How about that New York weather? It returns the exact same entities, but its confidence score lowers, this time to 89%. Now, that isn't hard-coded, and you saw the previous example with experience when I asked it of the Messenger bot. It's natural language processing. Now, as your product evolves with Wit, you can decide whether to trust Wit's responses by the quality of the confidence score that they return back to you. In closing, RésuméBot is an open-source project that can be found on my GitHub. The project has been submitted to Facebook for approval, and hey, if things go well, you could see it live soon. Now, hopefully, if you've taken anything from this talk, it's that you should all have your own RésuméBots, and that bots are an immensely powerful tool that, if mixed with NLP and NLU, have an amazingly untapped potential. Thank you for your time.